What's up everybody, it's Henry here. In this video, we're gonna be talking about a 2023 business plan as a real estate agent. In this video, you're gonna learn how to literally write out a business plan. If you've never wrote out a business plan, this is a great video for you to start at. If you wrote out a ton of business plans, you might hear this one differently than you've done in the past. This is gonna be a fairly short video specifically because people overthink what you need to do on a business plan. Like, I'm gonna be super honest. Like, it's gonna be quick and to the point because I want you guys to write the business plan and then I want you to get to work on the business plan. So anyways, let's dive right into the video. So what's up everybody, Henry Eisenstein here. If you don't know who I am, I've been a part of over $400 million worth of real estate transactions over the past few years, and I'm only 28. In this video, we're gonna be talking about a 2023 business plan. So let's start off with the big, hairy, audacious goal. Yes, you heard me right. A big goal that you're gonna put on the top of your piece of paper, because all you need in this video is a clean sheet of piece of paper and a pen. And no, I don't tell you to do it on your laptop or whatever, on your phone. No, I would tell you to write it out. You want to write it out. You want to like literally feel as the pen's going, right? Like it feels different when you write something out versus you typing it up. When you're writing out your goal, I want to understand something really quickly. Throw the word realistic out the freaking window, because it does not mean, like, I don't care what is realistic, what is not realistic, what is, imaginary. I don't really care. I just want you to write a number on the top of this video that excites you. That, like, if I made this amount of money, I would be so proud of myself if I made X amount of number. Put that number at the top. So for some of you, it might be 100, it might be 250, it might be 500, it might be 750, it might be a million, it might be 10 million. I don't know what your number is, okay? But the point is, put it at the top. How much money you want to net at the end of the year. This is the amount of money you want to net, right? Because like, here's the interesting thing. When people talk about how much money they want to make, they often don't take into consideration the fact that they have bills and expenses and other things they want to spend money on. So actually making 100 grand doesn't mean you're actually going to take home 100 grand. Because often, typically in the real estate business, if you're making 100 grand and after all your bills, you might only make, I don't know, 40 grand, 30 grand, 50 grand. I don't know what you're making, but the point is that you're not going to make 100% profit. It just doesn't make any sense. There's so much money you're going to net after all expenses is like your net taxable income. And by the way, it's coming up on the end of the year, so I'd make sure you speak to your accountant about next year because there might be some marketing costs or things you want to invest in, which by the way, my coaching program is a tax deduction. So if you're wondering how you can write more things off, my coaching program is 100% tax deductible. So again, if you have not signed up for a coaching call with me for free, yes, for free, make sure you schedule something down in the description down below because yes, it is 100% tax deductible. Anything that you're investing in yourself, like a coaching program, is tax deductible, baby. So make sure you schedule a call. What we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about this number a little bit, okay? Let's just say you put $100,000 as an example, and you've never made 100 grand before. Congratulations, I'm proud of you for putting that number. Because by the way, if you've never grossed more than $100,000 and you want to net $100,000, that's freaking awesome because you're most likely gonna have to make 150 to 200 grand. Good for you. I'm proud of you. Which by the way, if you made 100 grand or more this year and you put 100 grand, I don't know why the heck you did that, okay? It's about making more money than you did last year, and a bare minimum you should be looking for. By the way, a growing business is a minimum of 20%. All right, that's a good, healthy growing business is 20% year over year over year. I recommend for you that we put at least 50% more or double what you did this year. If you're looking to net $100,000, that means you're typically gonna look to gross double, 2x that number, okay? So you put 100 grand as a net number, that means you're gonna need to make $200,000. Now, listen, I'm not saying your expenses are 100% gonna be 50%, but I'm saying let's shoot higher, so you're going to guarantee yourself to net $100,000. At 100 grand, your gross income number next year should be $200,000. Off of the $100,000, the net income that you're gonna have is net taxable. The goal is at a bare minimum, because I want you to write as a subsection here, how much money do you want to put in your bank account? If you say, hey, I want to add $100,000 to my bank account, you're not going to put $100,000 of a net taxable income 100% into your bank account because you have to pay taxes on that. You understand what I'm saying here? So I want you to be really cognizant of the fact that, like, okay, if you put 100 grand as an example, that means that probably 20 to 30% of that, 20% to a third, right? 25%, whatever, a quarter, whatever you want to say, on average, probably is going to be able to be saved. So that means somewhere between $20,000 and $33,000 of that amount of money is going to be able to be saved. So I just want you to be kind of cognizant of where you're at here. Because if you want to save more money than that and or invest more money, because you're going to have some money you're going to save and have some money you're going to invest and you're going to have some money to live on, and you're going to have to pay your taxes. So like guys, like as you can see, like there's a lot of things going on here that I need you to pay attention to, which is why like I want to start with like, it really all comes down to the number we're talking about. So this is just point number one. This is what most people mess up on the most here. Anyways, you have your number. Of that number, you're going to double it for your gross income because that's your net taxable. Now, of that net taxable, you're going to talk about how much money you want to save, how much you want to invest, and how much you want to spend on things. Like enjoy your life, right? Like, and by the way, you might want to buy a new Rolex, right? That being said, like you need to make sure you allocate money to that. okay? Because you want to know where every dollar is going to be going. Because if you don't know where the money's going to be going, like the world is not going to bless you with the ability to make that kind of money. If you don't know where it's going, I'm just telling you, it's a weird thing, but if you don't know where every dollar is going to be spent, it just doesn't typically end up happening because you think you end up needing less to achieve what you want to do. So let's just say that you come down to this. You're going to net $100,000, and then you're going to say you're going to save $25,000, you're going to invest $25,000, and then you're going to spend $50,000, which, by the way, is very, very common. Actually, I'll even say this because, again, I want to put some taxes in there. So let's just say you're going to spend $30,000 and you're going to have $20,000 in expenses for your tax bill. So whatever your tax bill or wherever you are in the country, you're going to have your tax bill first, and then of the remaining amount, say you split it a third. Cost, things I'm going to spend money on personally, savings, investing. Okay, there you go. But I obviously would recommend that you save money before that you just spend it. We've done our number. We have our awesome goal, which I'm super excited for. Now here's the thing. Now we're going to be focusing on the 200,000 because the 100,000 is your net taxable. Now we need to figure out how do we make the 200 grand. Now that we kind of have all the foundational stuff set, because it really is all about the number you put on the paper. So let's take our 200 grand as an example. On the $200,000, you have to now take $200,000 and divide it by your average commission check. Because if your average commission check right now is, let's say, 10 grand, that's 20 transactions. However, what I'm going to recommend for you is that instead of making it 10 grand, I want your average commission check throughout the next 12 months. I want you to have a minimum of 50% more. So I want it to be 15 grand. You're still going to try to sell, not try, but you're going to implement all the steps, You're going to implement all the steps and you're not going to try, you're going to do it, right? You're going to sell 20 homes. However, I want you just to change the number mentally in your head. The average commission that you need to be targeting is $15,000. So because I want to get you the number in your head of what you need to sell. So that's 20 transactions, but the commission is going to be $15,000. So these are just some quick, easy, simple shifts that I want you to really be thinking. And this is stuff that I talk about all the time in my coaching program. And if you have not taken advantage of your free consultation, make sure you schedule a call down in the description down below. I'm just here to help you guys out, right? That's all I'm here for, right? Again, you have your 20 transactions because you divided the 200,000 by your average commission right now, which is possibly 10 grand as an example. But what I want you to do is say that, okay, going forward, we're going to start prospecting on a higher price point neighborhoods, properties, you name it, okay? We're going to work on trying to get a commission check that is 50% more on average than what you're currently getting. So if you're getting 10 grand, we're going to start focusing on neighborhoods, price points, types of properties that you're going to be able to make $15,000 at a average minimum. If your commission right now is 3% or more, right, as an example, right? Or some, even say 2.5. And you say, well, in my market, this is not the thing. Okay, I'm going to be blunt with you. I've signed a number of listings at 7% commission. And in my area, it is very common for 4%. I've signed 7% commission properties, and at 7%, I kept 5 and I gave out 2. And you can say whatever you want about the way I'm splitting deals, but guess what? When I got 5% and they got 2%, and they, whatever comment, I don't care what comment they made, I felt great the fact that I made 2.5 times the amount of money that I would have made normally on one transaction. So my commissions were a lot larger and I didn't have to sell as many homes to make as much money as I wanted to make. This is what I'm here to tell you. So stop in your head, whatever you have in your head, the fact that okay, well, I have to do this or I have to do that. Guys, listen, the economy is shifting and you don't pay your competition's bills. You need to pay yourself more than you're paying your competition. And I'm not saying you pay them nothing and I give out 0.5% commission, because as real estate agents, we want to make sure that we're, being fair. But there's a difference in being fair and paying them way more money than they need to be paid. I will pay another agent the lowest amount of money that can be fairly paid out. I'll never give out less than 2% because that's the lowest that can be fairly paid out and no one really asks any questions. But it doesn't mean that if I take a listing for 6 or 7%, I need to split it in half. That's insane. You know how many agents I've also seen do the same thing? You guys are worth it. You don't have to just split every commission evenly. You're going to increase your price points by 50%. So that your average commission can be higher. So you're number one, increasing your price points. Number two, you're going to increase your commission average that you're going to pay yourself. Because listen, a lot of us are I'm imagining a lot of you who are watching this video work with a brokerage. So you're not going to make 100% of your commission. Even if you're with a company like EXP, where I make 100% of my commission after I only pay them a few dollars every year. The point that I'm trying to make here is that even with a company that can pay up to 100%, which is awesome, I still have to pay the brokerage a couple bucks. Right? So I'm not making 100% of every dollar. So I need to continuously increase my price points, increase my commission percentages so I can make more money each and every single year, where I'm not just dependent on selling more properties. Point number next, guys, when you're making this business plan, it is common for people to constantly get into the idea I'm a realtor. No, you're a business person. You're a business person, so you have to have a business plan, not a real estate agent plan of how you're going to, what your marketing stuff and all is going to look like. No, you need to have a business plan of how you're going to make more money, because we need to talk about money. You know how many sales you need to do. Now let's talk about the lead gen. What I'm here to tell you is that okay, now do 20 sales. You're going to have to now do the math here to say okay, based on how many calls, based on how many conversations, based on how many leads, based on how many appointments set, based on how many appointments conducted and contracts signed is going to equate to 20 transactions. On average, for about every 2,000 cold calls you make, you're going to close somewhere between 1 and 2 transactions. So it's about 1 for every 1,000 cold calls. Calls, not conversations, okay? Don't misconstrue things. I'm being very conservative, by the way. 1,000 calls is gonna equal 1 deal. 2,000 calls equals 2 deals. 3,000 calls equals 3 deals, so on and so forth. For every 1,000 warm calls you make, you're probably gonna close somewhere between 5 and 10 times that amount. So it means if you have 1,000 warm leads, okay, that you call, you're probably gonna close 5 to 10 transactions. This is based on referrals, networking, professional partnerships, you name it, okay? If you want to close 20 transactions, that means you're going to have a lot of conversations. Thousands of conversations a year, okay? If that freaks you out, you shouldn't be in the real estate business. I'm just going to be real blunt with you guys. Because if you want to close 20 transactions, it means you have to have 20,000 conversations over the course of a year. You should have a dialer because you should be able to have 200-300 calls made a day on a dialer. By the way, if you do 100 calls a day, that's 2,000 leads over 20 days. 20 days, guys. So that means you should have 1 transaction done. Now that you've understood what you're going to call, now we're going to talk about what does your day look like? So based on my day, so I'm going to focus on X, Y, and Z. If you want to, again, if you want to increase your price points, I want to know written in your business plan who you're calling, why you're calling them, the neighborhoods you're going to be calling, the neighborhoods you're going to be prospecting, the focus you're going to have on your business, and again, you want to deep dive on this kind of stuff, like the who, how, and what your day looks like to attack that type of lead. Because listen, it's not going to just fall into your lap. You're not going to all of a sudden just do 20 transactions and make $200, $300, $400,000 this year. It's not going to just happen. But if you make it so simple on your business plan of who you're calling, when you're calling them, how you're calling them, it becomes achievable. You're not just a real estate agent. You have a business. So that means you need to talk about an opening time and a closing time. When do you start work? When do you end work? Yes, you're going to have both. You are a business. You open shop and close shop. When do you open? You start at 7 a.m., 7:30, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. You're out of your freaking mind if you're going to be successful and open at 11 o'clock every day. And by the way, if you're a part-time agent, I'm just letting you know, it's still you can still do all the things that we're talking about, and you can do it whenever hours, right? But I'm just saying you have to make sure you get in those hours of whatever prospecting you're planning on doing, your follow-up, your appointments, everything. When you open, the very first thing you're going to do is you're going to have a team meeting with yourself. You're going to talk about your team meeting and your business plan. Every day I need to do a team meeting. Okay, you're going to track that. That's 5 to 15 minutes with yourself. Something that I want, a great win from yesterday. Review all the deals that you have in process right now, any red flags that are going on right now. Something that you're going to focus on for the next, your goal for today is blank. Something you're going to focus on achieving today, and your focus for achieving this week. Okay, the amount of calls, the amount of leads, the amount of appointments, blah, whatever it is. So you're going to track that. You're going to have your team meeting first thing in the morning, 5-15 minutes whenever you start work. Number 2, you're going to literally just get straight on the phones. You're going to start prospecting and or doing your follow-up. Now, every single day, you're going to do one of a different, you could do cold calling, you can call your professional partners, you can call your current clients, your past clients, your sphere of influence, your phone book, you're anybody, you're just doing follow-up, whatever you want to do, but every single day, you need to be doing minimum 3 hours a day worth of calls. Minimum 3 hours a day. And by the way, if you're doing 4, 5, or 6 hours, great, add an hour or 2. Every single person that is watching this video, add an hour or 2 to your prospecting. If you're only doing an hour, do 3. Okay, at a bare minimum, do 3 in the next 12 months, because I'm telling you right now, it is going to be harder than ever to make money in the real estate business. You're going to see a lot of real estate agents get out of the business. You're going to see a lot of mortgage lenders get out of the business because it's not as simple as it used to be. So I'm just telling you, you're going to double down, triple down on whatever has been working, which is the basics. So 3 hours minimum of prospecting. You're going to spend a minimum of 1 hour a day doing your follow-up. Then guess what? It's probably going to be around 12 noon. And during your 12 noon hour, what you're going to do is you're going to get lunch. You're going to eat it in your office. You're not going to go out to lunch unless you're meeting with somebody where you're going to make money with them, professional partner or client, right? You're not going to ever leave your office from now on. And by the way, I don't care if it's in your house, but I'm saying that you're not going to leave your office per se until you get all your work done for the day, right? If your goal is to set 2 appointments, you haven't set an appointment at 6 o'clock, you're going to continue to make calls. Your shop closes at 6 o'clock. You didn't hit your goal. So keep calling. So you're going to do 3 hours of prospecting, outbound prospecting of warm leads or cold leads. I don't care what you're doing. 1 hour minimum of follow-up every single day. And by the way, 1 or 2 days a week, if you have over 1,000 leads in your database, you can make sure 2 days minimum a week, you can do 3 hours of follow-up and 1 hour of new prospecting. The rest of the day is going to be one of a couple things. Either more calls or out of the office and networking, or you're on an appointment with a client. That is it. Do not leave the office. Do not stop working for any reason whatsoever. If you're not going to do one of those 4 things, you're not making money.
I have to post to social media. Well, I have to, pull comps for, this, and this. I have to, schedule showings. I have to do this, and I have to do, I have to write this contract. I have to do all this kind of stuff.
You have 30 minutes during your lunch hour to get all that stuff done. After hours, you do all the stuff that doesn't make you money. Because things like, guess what? Don't get me wrong. If you have a listing contract you need to write up, you should have done that last night. But if you can do it in less than 3 to 5 minutes, you can do it right now. If it takes you more than 3 to 5 minutes, it should be done later tonight. night. You should be taking the 30, 45 minutes, an hour, whatever you're taking to pull comps, to schedule showings, all kind of stuff. Do it off hours because it does not make you money right now. Last thing I want to be talking about is like, yes, we've been literally putting out every single metric that you have on this business plan. And I'm proud of you for doing this because this is the down and dirty work that a lot of people don't do. And people, what they do here is what they'll do is they'll write this out. Great job. And then they'll never look at it again. Makes no freaking sense. So what I recommend that we're going to do after you do the following thing, you're going to tape this to your office wall right in front of your face at your office. So you see it every day when you walk in the office. So the last thing we're going to be talking about is, listen, if you're not set up like this, we're going to talk about business, some business strategies real quick, okay? Number one, if you do not have some way to track the amount of calls and conversations, leads, and everything that you're generating, which means a CRM system and or a spreadsheet, I recommend you doing that. Because a spreadsheet only works for so long. And if you don't have a CRM system that you're taking all those leads from the spreadsheet and putting it into so you know when to follow up with them, you're going to make it very complicated for yourself. I'm just being honest. That's number one. Number two, if you don't have an LLC, set up an LLC. And if you don't know how to set one up, you can Google it or call your accountant. Number three, get QuickBooks and connect it to your new business bank account that you've made through your LLC. Because you're going to need a business bank account. And you want a business checking, a business savings for your taxes. I'm just going to be honest with you because I'm telling you it's coming. For your taxes, and you're on a business credit card. So all of your expenses go on each one of these items. Okay, you spend your money on your credit card, you pay it off every single month. And then every dollar that you make from generating commissions, you're going to take 50% of every dollar you generate. Now you can say 40, it's fine if you want to do 40. I don't recommend anything less than that, but 40 cents on every dollar. You generate 10 grand, 4,000 goes into your savings. You generate $20,000, 8,000 goes into your savings, okay? Somewhere between 40 and 50% goes into your savings account, and I'm gonna tell you why you do this. You need to learn to live off less money, and then the coolest part is that during the end of the year, when your bank, when your tax accountant is like, oh, well, you owe $50,000, guess what? You're gonna have more than $50,000 in that savings account on average because you save more money than you needed. So that means when everyone else is freaking out, you've got the money socked away, and you're gonna have more money than most of those people anyway socked away. So you're gonna take that extra money that you're not gonna need towards your taxes because you saved more than you needed, and you're going to then take that and you can put it into your savings account or invest the money. I'm telling you guys, like, be smart, right? Like, you can even take that money and invest it in the, like, again, I'm not a stock person, so I wouldn't invest in the S&P exactly because the market's freaking all fugazi right now. But the point is that you can take that money and save it, and you can keep it somewhere safe where you can save it, like, and you can gain interest on it, right? Where you can make a conservative 6, 7, 8% return on your money so that you can literally earn interest on the savings that you would be paying taxes on. I mean, freaking brilliant stuff, right? Like, you can just use use the money that you're going to use for your taxes and you just use to invest it in the meantime. Freaking brilliant. Last thing I'm going to say to you is this. If you take this business plan and you just follow it to a T, when it comes to the calls and the conversations and the leads generated and all that kind of stuff, if you double down on that and that's all you focus on and you hit that number 100% of the time, each and every single day, each and every single week, each and every single month, quarter, you're going to see massive levels of success this year while the rest of your competition is wondering what the heck happened. And by the way, we've been having conversations like this in my coaching group for weeks now, preparing for the next year and really rounding out this, ending this year on a super high note. So again, if you have not scheduled a call with my coaching group, make sure you schedule a call with me for free. Yes, for free in the description down below. I want to be able to help you. Make sure you knock your year out of the park next year. Super excited. Last thing I'm going to say to you guys is this, is that listen, your business plan, if you don't look at it, it's not going to, your business is not going to change. If you don't look at your business plan and you don't take any action based on your business plan, it's not going to change next year. So if you're wondering if your income is going to change next year, the answer is it's up to you. You make that choice. And if you just follow your business plan, you're going to see massive levels of success while your competition is wondering what the heck just happened. So other than that, guys, I love you so very much. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.